Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. You are watching biology session, habitat, the part 6. So far we have discussed about the habitat of animals and habitat of plants and the adaptations in plants and animals. Okay, habitat is the natural growing or surviving place of a living organism. Okay, you can define in your own sentences. So in order to survive, the organisms develop some new characters. Okay, in the beginning, the short term changes, we can call it as acclimatization, but long term it is called adaptation. Okay, plants and animals are adapted to survive in their respective habitats, maybe water, maybe land, maybe polar region, maybe desert, whatever may be the habitat, they protect themselves, they defend, and they survive. Okay, so today we are going to learn about some interesting concept, interdependence. Interdependence means plants depend on animals, animal depends on plants. In order to survive, definitely mutualism will be there. The animals and plants help each other. Plants and animals depend on each other for a wide variety of things, maybe for protection, for gaseous exchange, for food, for reproduction, for shelter. These are some of the, but there are many ways by which plants depend on animals and animals depend on plants. So what is interdependence? Interdependence of plants and animals. We are aware of the fact that human beings depend upon the plants and animals for food and other requisites of life. Plants and animals also depend on each other. They do so in many ways. Some animals eat grass and green leaves of plants. They are called herbivorous or herbivores. Many animals also eat grains and other products of plants. Human beings depend on both plants and animals for food. Human beings breathe in air containing oxygen, isn't it? Not only human beings, animals. So you see here, plants are called producers and animals are called consumers. Plants are called producers, animals are called consumers. So in this picture, the producers and consumers, always remember, in an ecosystem, the producers population will be more compared to consumers. If there is any difference, if the producers population decrease, automatically that ecosystem will collapse due to drought and famine, non-availability of food. Okay, green plants are called primary producers. They produce first the energy present in the sunlight, it is trapped by the green plants in the process called photosynthesis. That energy is transferred from plants to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores. Like that, the energy transformation or energy circulation takes place. Okay, plants, by utilizing these inorganic substances present in the soil, water and nutrients, in the presence of sunlight, they prepare food for themselves and for millions of organisms on the earth. That's why they are called producers. Okay. So you studied a phenomenon called food chain in the nutrition. Okay. The phenomenon of eating and being eaten is called a food chain. The producers, then primary consumers. Primary consumers are eaten by secondary consumers, means first green plants, then herbivores, then carnivores. Like that the energy transformation takes place. So here we are discussing the interdependence phenomenon. For example, you can see bees and hummingbirds. They visit different flowers. They depend on flowers for the sweet substance, nectar. And the flowers depend upon these bees and hummingbirds to carry pollen from one flower to another flower. Apart from the pollination, different animals help in plants for the reproduction, help the plants in reproduction by acting as carriers of seeds. Okay, so here see hummingbird and a bee visiting the flower. When they visit the flower, they suck the nectar. During their nectar collection, the pollen of the flower gets stick to the body of these animals, and when they visit another flower, the pollen grain will be transferred to the stigma of another flower. So this process is called cross pollination. Cross pollination takes place by these agents. They act as a very good pollinating agents. They carry the pollen grain from one flower to another flower. Okay. So this is not only plants depend for pollination purpose. The plants depend on animals for even seed dispersal. Seed dispersal means sometimes some animals eat the seeds and they excrete somewhere the seed fell and again grow into a new plant. So this is called seed dispersal. Next, plants and animals depend on each other. Like human beings, all the animals adopt this process of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide during the process called respiration. So green plants is opposite. They take in carbon dioxide from the air and they leave or give out oxygen in the process of photosynthesis. The carbon dioxide is used in preparing the food for the plants by the process of photosynthesis. During the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is given out or added to the atmosphere. Okay. So in this way, the animals and plants help each other. The plants and animals depend on each other for a wide variety of things. Animals depend on plants for shelter. Animals depend on plants for the construction of their different shelters, and they depend on plants for the food. Animals depend on plants for oxygen, and plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. Animals even protect themselves from the other animals by taking shelter on the trees. For protection, animals depend on plants. Okay. The excreta which is released by these animals acts as a manure for the plant's growth. Okay. So like that, even the plants are depending on animals for that purpose also. Okay. Now come to an important step, the domination of human being on the nature or the environment, that is called habitat destruction. The habitat destruction is the process in which natural habitat is rendered unable to support the species present. In this process, the organisms that previously used the site are displaced or destroyed during biodiversity. The habitat destruction by human activity is mainly for the purpose of harvesting the natural resources. For the purpose of harvesting natural resources, for industry, for the protection, for industry production and urbanization. The main cause of habitat destruction is the increase in the human population. Okay. The other important causes of habitat destruction include mining, logging, trawling, and urban sprawl, conversion of the agricultural land into human residences, industries, destructing the forest, deforestation for timber and for other purposes. Okay. Or converting the forest land into agricultural land, it is also dangerous. The habitat destruction is currently ranked as the primary cause of species extinction worldwide, because you know very well, nature is not one's property. The nature provides many things for almost all living organisms present on this earth. So if we destruct the natural properties, the automatically it will shows its impact on the remaining species which live along with us. Okay. So live and let live must be our motto. So what are the consequences of this habitat destruction? The habitat destruction leads to environmental problems. Several environmental issues have been raised, such as pollution of air, water, and soil. Okay. The pollution of air, water, and soil requires millions of years to recoup. Now everything is damaged. The industry and motor vehicle exhaust are the number one pollutants produced from industry and motor vehicles. Pollutants means the chemical substances which pollute the environment. Heavy metals, nitrates, plastic, and toxins, especially the oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, are responsible for the pollution. Water pollution is caused by oil spills, acid rains, urban runoff, garbage and sewage. Okay. And air pollution is caused by various gases and toxins released by industries and factories, and the incomplete combustion of fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? The fossil fuels are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These are natural resources. So we are using those natural resources beyond the limit. When they are used beyond the limit, automatically the scarcity also occur. Their scarcity occur. So when we are using these fossil fuels, so actually the energy embedded in these fossil fuels, if they are completely burnt, less pollutants may be released, but incomplete combustion of these fossil fuels release oxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur into the atmosphere, which leads to acid rains. Okay. So during the transport of these fossil fuels, especially the crude oil through sea route, if any leakage occur, so that crude oil will spread on the surface of the sea water. So that is called oil spills. When several gallons of this oil is added to this water, then it form a film or it form a layer which prevent the entry of sunlight and which decrease the oxygen levels in that water, and which may lead to the death of several animal species like fish, birds, etc. Okay. So next, soil pollution is majorly caused by industrial waste that deprives the soil from essential nutrients. Okay, dumping yards. Nowadays, not only the industrial waste, the domestic waste, daily waste which are produced in our houses are also, they are dumped in the soil, especially the plastics. They are contaminating the soil and interfere with the topsoil, and which deprives or which degenerate the essential nutrients present in the soil and makes it unfit for agriculture or any other purposes. Okay. See, the industrial pollution, mainly air pollution is caused due to industries and automobile exhaust. Then the land pollution, see the plastics and the industrial waste which are added to the soil and water will damage the habitat. Okay. And apart from this, we are even cutting down the forests, deforestation, which leads to the deficiency of oxygen in the atmosphere, because the main source of oxygen is green plants. When those green plants are destructed, automatically it will shows or develop an imbalance, or we can say ecological balance is get disturbed, which leads to the destruction of a species on the earth. See, the global warming, it is the major problem nowadays we are facing. The climate changes like global warming is the result of human practices like emission of greenhouse gases, especially increase in the concentration of CO2, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The global warming leads to raising the temperature of the oceans and earth's surface, causing the melting of polar ice caps, rise in the sea levels, and also unnatural patterns of precipitation. We can call it as flash floods, excessive snowfall, and desertification. These are all the impacts, or these are all the results of global warming. Okay. So this global warming results in floods in some areas, drought and famine in some areas, like that. So in the summers, El Nino means hurricanes, and tsunamis also the result of these global warming. See here, desertification. Land is converting into desert. Melting of polar ice caps, increase in the sea level. It may lead to the extinction of polar bears, penguins, and some other the species living in the Arctic region. Okay, children. Global warming, the warming of earth, increase in the room temperature. What is the main cause for all these things? Means overpopulation. The population of the planet is reaching unsustainable levels as it faces shortage of resources like water, fuel, and food. The population explosion in certain or in less developed and developing countries is straining the already scarce resources. Intensive agriculture practice to produce food damages. Okay, intensive agriculture practiced to produce food damages the environment through use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides. The modern agriculture. Okay, we are using modern agriculture devices to reduce the labor work, but the usage of these chemicals, okay, it has been increased drastically. The chemical fertilizers to improve the fertility of the soil, the pesticides and insecticides to control the pests and insects damaging the crop. So due to over usage of these chemical fertilizers, pesticides and insecticides, showing a lot of impact on the other species living along with us. Okay, and also the overpopulation is one of the crucial current environmental problem. Overpopulation is one of the crucial current environmental problem. Present, the overpopulation, the density of population is increasing. Okay, in urban areas, the people living in the rural areas are also coming to cities and towns in search of the livelihood. Okay, so and the cultures and traditions have been changed. Least importance for the traditional works. Okay, these are all due to what you call the globalization and urbanization, leading to the destruction of the natural resources. So as the increase in the human population is the main cause for all these habitat destructions. Okay, we are invading the different habitats and interfering with the livelihood of other organisms which are living along with us. Okay, children. So natural resource depletion. The natural resource depletion is another crucial current environmental problem. The first one is overpopulation. Now the second one is natural resource depletion. The fossil fuel consumption results in emission of greenhouse gases, and this is responsible for global warming and global climatic changes. Globally, the people are taking efforts to shift to renewable sources of energy like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, biogas. Okay, these are all. They are called non-conventional energy sources. They are renewable energy resources. So compensation of fossil fuels with these renewable sources of energy like solar energy, wind energy, biogas, geothermal energy, etc. Okay, it will find a little solution for the current problems. But the cost of installing the infrastructure and maintaining these sources has plummeted in the recent years. It's very costly. For example, solar panels. Okay, it's well and good, abundant source of solar energy is available, but in order to utilize that solar energy, the equipment, solar panels, the construction, building of the solar panels, it's a economically, okay, it is costly. So the efforts are made to reduce this cost of making these solar panels. Research is going on. Once it is successful, then we can use this alternate source. So eco-friendly fuels, eco-friendly, when the methods of eco-friendly we adopt, automatically the pollutions will be reduced. So destruction of habitat, deforestation of the forests, and afforestation means growing more forests, and mining. Okay, mining can be done, but the mining process can be minimized. It should not be crossed the limit. Limited mining, limited usage of fossil fuels will help to preserve the natural resources for future. Waste disposal, another important problem at present. Waste disposal, the overconsumption of resources and creation of plastics and creating a global crisis of waste disposal. Okay, the methods of waste disposal: landfills, incineration means burning, combustion, and waste compaction, biogas generation, composting, vermicomposting. These are all the methods of disposal of waste. Some are eco-friendly and some are causing environmental problems. In developed countries, the developed countries are notorious for producing an excessive amount of waste or garbage and dumping their wastes in the oceans and less developed countries. Okay, nuclear waste. Present nuclear power is the main source of power in the developed countries. The nuclear waste disposal has tremendous health hazards associated with it, lead to the mutations, the genetical problems. So it must be avoided. Plastic, fast food packing and cheap electronic wastes threaten the well-being of humans. The waste disposal is one of urgent current environmental problem. So proper method of the waste disposal to be followed. It depends upon the proper collection of wastes. Okay. So the government has to take the initiation in collecting the proper the waste in a proper manner. So certain wastes which are the wastes are of two types. One is decomposable waste and or degradable wastes and non-degradable wastes. The degradable wastes include the wastes which are produced from plants and animals, or organic wastes are somewhat the degradable, and these plastics and insecticides and pesticides, these are all non-degradable. Okay. Certain wastes may be burnt, certain wastes may be converted into manures used in the biogas generation. Okay. So the proper method to be adopted to control the wastes. Utilization of waste, a process called recycling can be done for certain wastes. Okay children, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.